All right, how you doing? Christmas been and gone. Hope everybody's well. We're into a new variant now, aren't we? We're into a new variant of COVID. I think I digress. I think I'm going to get one of them stickers that you get like when you go to McDonald's for a coffee, and every time you get one, you get a little sticker. Every time you get a jab, 9 jabs, you get a free pizza. Anyway, I'm crack on. So, what have I been doing since my last video? I've been building a Hobbyboss 1 in 48 IDS Tornado. And for a kit that promised so much, it really, really did. You know, when I sort of got them, I'm just trying to stand my notes up. And I'm going to put them here. Chuff it, I'm cheating. When I got the kit and I opened the box, and I'm like, look at all these sprues. It's like sprue after sprue after sprue. There's literally hundreds on them. And you're thinking, this is going to be absolutely epic. Look at my body language. Did you see that? This is going to be absolutely epic. But you started, don't you? You sort of like, you're going through everything and you think, oh, photo etch on buckets and, look at all these options that's up, and I've written down here. It's like, wow, on this kit, I can pose the rudder. Brilliant. Can't do that on Rebel kit. Inlet doors on side of air intakes. Nice. Lovely. What else have I got? Air brakes open, option, reverse buckets in option, refueling probe, radar, nose open, fantastic. It's got this, I think it's a WM1 sort of thing underneath belly, and you, whoa, yeah, come on, bring it on. And your expectation is this kit needs to deliver. Okay. It's the build is in 4 parts, right? The first part is the front end, second part, middle, third part, back end, fourth part, last part, tail. So let's have a look. So the amount of sprues that you get is just mind-blowing. And if you've watched my videos before, I've said if it's in the box, it's going on. But you can't do that with this kit because there are so many options on Armament. It's all down, pardon me, it's all down to Armament. And because you've got this bomb dispersing unit that sits under belly, you're thinking, oh, that's going on. Because it just is, right? And I'm actually going to make this into a bit of a diorama. I'll put some pictures up. I'm just waiting for my old man to crack on with my runway. Anyway, so you look at all the sprue that you get and the armament that you get, but then you start to think, well, hang on a minute, alarm missiles and different sort of capacity of fuel tank and BOS pods and chaff dispensers and this particular thing, I don't even know what it is, right? And you're getting armament on these sprues and you're like, that's fantastic. What options shall I go for? But whoa, pull your horse back, because then you look at Decal options, of which there are 2. There's an English version and the German IDS version, and you think, it's more of an anniversary bird, is this, with fancy tail art. And would an anniversary bird, well, it certainly won't be going off to war, would it? But then you start to question all this armament compared to the Decal option, and you think, well, I've got a squadron version, and I know what goes on that. But for the other version, there's so many different kinds of fuel tanks and pods and bombs and missiles and all sorts of things, and it just don't fit. It just don't marry well, okay? And that's where I'd sort of slipped up a little bit, because I loved the scheme, And I'd sort of, you know, I'm galloping along thinking, scheme, nailed it, gonna do it. But then you start to look at your armament options and you're like, yeah, no, that don't go with that. That would never sit on that. What the fucking hell's that? Etc. etc. So that particular Tornado there, that's like a hybrid, you know, hybrid. A what if for them people that call them what ifs. The colour scheme's right, and the armament scheme is kind of right, except this particular bird won't carry that bomb spitting thing under its belly because it just won't. Well, they're bad now, aren't they? But I start on armament because I'm a backwards builder, because for, you know, 3-4 years since I'm building kits, and then I'm putting my heart and soul into that, and then it gets to armament still on sprue, and you're like, can't be asked. And over time you evolve your own build sequence, if you will. And for me, it's backwards building. I do all the armament first and get that polished off, built, filled, sanded, primed, painted, glossed, decaled, glossed again, matte coat, everything. Dush, done. I get that out of the way. While I'm doing that, I'm masking canopy off, because it's just something that you have to do. And while I'm doing that, then, so now I'm coming back sort of like I'm going to front at buck and to back at buck, and I'm sort of working my way like this. But then eventually it does start carrying on. Once the armament's done and I've masked the glass off and I've got wing halves together, rudder together, stabilizers together, flaps all sorted because they're all little sub-assemblies. Once I've done all them, you know, you can start, right, oh, well, I've got my sort of chassis here, my lower chassis underneath. What do I need to do next in your book? Right, oh, I need to glue my wings together. I've done them. Sit them in. Right, brilliant. What do I need to do next? Put top on. Done it. Right, that's it. Chassis done. What do I need to do next? Oh, I need to put the rudder halves together, you know, the fin at the back. Oh, no, I've already done that. And that's how my mentality works. I've done it, so it's just a matter of sticking it on. Next part, oh, I've already done it. Stick it on. And, you know, build smart, not fast. Build smart, not fast. And it must work because I've just said it twice. Let's go back to kit. That front end, office, seats, instrument panel, stick, sides on, hood up. Yeah, you're more or less there, aren't you, with that one? But then, you know, instrument panel. Don't forget, I've elevated this kit in my head already to a pinnacle kit, right? Hobbyboss, 1 in 48. And everybody I've talked to, and they said, oh, Mark, how's it gone? And I've gone, shit, mate. Every single answer, every single one. Really? Shit, what do you mean? Look, you know, I'm not going to lie, right? So for instrument panels, you're thinking, shall I prime it white, paint it black, back of my blade, scratch back over little knobs and dials to reveal the white underneath? Shall I do that? Shall I sort of like dot and dab, paint it black, and then start dotting and dabbing with old glasses on? That never looks right, especially now Red Fox. If you've not seen the Red Fox instrument panels, Christ almighty. You know, it's like, if you're dotting and dabbing on instrument panels, you are like Isle Milk Football League compared to what is now available, which is like unbelievable World Premier League stuff on decals. Let me have a look through my decal pack, see if I've got any decals. Yeah, oh, yeah, brilliant. What the Jesus Christ? They are neon blue. You know, Pilot must have been like that because they are so in your face. But I put them on. All right. I popped a Telford, didn't I, in November, and I got the right paint for it. That were all okay. Did the seats, 9 parts on your seats, and again, when you're looking through your instructions and you go 9 parts on seats, that's got to be like 2 sides, 1, 2, seat, 3, 4, backrest 5, thing at back 6, lid on top 7, 8. Yeah, oh yeah, these are cracking, moulding in seat belts. Moulded in seat belts on a 9-part seat, for the love of God. And you sort of say, all right then, big lad, send them off. No big deal. That's not the point. The point is that this is a 9-part seat on a supposed really good kit, and it should be photo etch seat belts. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway, I digress. So, on your instructions book, so it's sort of telling you to do your tub, which is a standard affair, and then number 2, refueling probe. It's like number 2, refuel. Fair enough. All right, okay. And at this stage, I've not decided in what sort of pose that I was going to do it in. So, because refueling probe option is there, I did put the back on the back plate that allows the boom arm to come out. In hindsight, shouldn't have done that, should have had it closed, but not to worry. The air intakes that you'll fit at that stage, you've got your 2 halves together, putting your air intakes on. The air intakes are one of the most endearing features on the kit, because the Revel one, as you know, it's such a hair pulling out affair. This one, pleasantly surprised. It's literally that they do come together as a sub-assembly, and they're just tuck in behind wing, and you're like, I like that. That's nice. And it's got the inlet doors. You can have the inlet doors open. And again, at that stage, I'm like, that's a feature. They're going on. Inlet doors open, lovely. Nose, you can have radar open. And you think, yeah, you get your big dish and the wiring detail at the back and the little thing at the bottom. And oh, yeah, that's nice. Really, really nice. Okay. And then once you've done stage 2, so putting your sides together, building your refueling probe, stick that in bin, air intakes, nose open, closed, da-di-da, and you go, right, stage 3, weapons? You haven't even touched none of that. You've only done that. It's telling you to build weapons. And again, you do get so many weapons in the kit. It's like you're literally scratching your head thinking, now I'm looking at aftermarket decals, am I? Because this IDS bird, what did it carry? Which era is it from? What countries did it sort of fly in? What armament would it have carried? Did it go into any particular warfare? Would it carry alarm missiles, sidewinders? What sort of size fuel tanks will it? What squadron was it from? Did it fly out of Germany? Did it fly out of this time? And honestly, and like I said, the armament to decal option, of which there's 2, it just don't marry up. Okay. So stage 3 and 4 weapons, and at that stage you've really got to get into crux at build and say, well, where am I going with it, right? Because you can't do certain things because they didn't fit under wings. Now you can see I've done anniversary bird, so hybrid, because it has got the scheme on it, but none of these weapons would have been on this bird because it's an anniversary scheme. Okay. Once you've done that front end, built it, you're onto your main part. Chassis, wings in, wings on. Flaps, it's got posable flaps. Nowhere near as complicated as the Revel one, because that one, you can be sat in your shed with light on till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to work that out. And I do know, because I've got another one to do. Luckily, I've mastered that now. But this one, if the Revel one on a sort of finish state is, it's a 9 out of 10, This one's like a 4 out of 10. It looks right-ish. It just don't look right-ish. If you build this kit, if you've got this kit in your stash, you'll see what I mean when you come to build it, especially if you've built the Revel one. Step 4 is the back end. And whereas the back end on the Revel one comes to a stop, and then you fit that sort of figure of 8 band round the back, and then you insert your exhausts in. Well, for this kit, all that is pre-built, and it just sits in. So, all right, it was easier. It was easier than the Revel one, but it's not as satisfying. It's not as challenging. It's not, I suppose, you know, am I contradicting myself? Do I want easy or do I want a nightmare kit? Well, you know, something in the middle will do, won't it? And then it's tail on back. Don't forget, I've already done my armament. Stabilizers and front slats and, you know, all that sort of thing. For everything that's posable on it, and you think, yeah, looks excellent, but that's where your problems start. Because, especially that nose, I think I took a picture of it. If I did, I'll pop it up. When you come to put your nose on, it's like, I'm a setting base camp up here at Kilimanjaro, because the step between the nose and the fuselage is like, somebody help me up, mate. It's enormous. Get your sanding stick out. No, mate, get your grinder out, you know, with a sanding disc on it. It's that big. In the scheme of things, it might be a millimetre, but in a millimetre, 1 in 48, you times that by 48, you know, it just doesn't happen, does it? It's a snug fit, whereas with that one, it's like that, right? And by this time, I'd sort of worked out that I was going to pose this kit on a homemade runway with some LEDs on it and some cotton wool to replicate the sort of bombs that are coming out of this little band unit at the bottom. All right. The canopy didn't fit right. I'm looking now. The canopy didn't fit right. The step on the nose is massive. The flaps look okay, but they're not Revel flaps. That's actually what I've written down. The wing gloves, superb. The wing gloves, where your wings go in, they actually look like resin wing gloves, the one that have got that wavy line. You know, because on the Revel one, it's just like that, isn't it? It looks sauce. It does look pretty pants, does that. Whereas on this one, it's got that wavy line on. And it looks so much better. So much better. I wish Revel had used them, because I'd be building them all day long. Are you saying, wait, that's all you build? I know. And then the decals. Let me just get rid of that. The decals, Jesus Christ. Decal pack. Some of them are so thick, there ain't no amount of solid set going to conform that decal to the body. I don't care how much gloss you've put on, right? I've been building for 6 years, nearly 7 years. I know how to do decals. And I would have needed a bath of Sarson's malt vinegar to put them on, because they were absolute. I'm trying not to swear on my videos. They were absolutely shite. This at front, that's a decal that you get supplied in kit. That's not a decal, that's airbrushed on. Because, get ready, right? Get ready. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. And you get 2, I'm going to pick it up. You get 2 for top of air intakes. It's a blue and white stripe. There, look. Can you see them at top? No. Can you see there on air intake? on this one, that one, Decal. That's not a Decal, that's painted on because they're shocking. They're either far too thick, which means that they won't conform to shape, or they are so brittle, you put it in your water, nice warm water, and there's no written rule on decaling, right? There is no hard and fast in your instructions. Bathe the decal for X amount of time, 10 seconds. It's just what we all share on knowledge. Oh, I use this, I use that. I put mine upside down into me nice warm, but I use a candle warmer. I dip it for 5 seconds. I do it for 10 seconds. I've got my way, right? Nice warm water, decal on tweezers, upside down to stop it from curling up, right? Because if you put it in upside down, it stays flat. In you go, nice warm water, count to 5, pull it out, bit of kitchen towel, sit there, you'll mate, for 30 seconds. Finger on, does it move? Yeah, lovely. But with these decals, lovely. Finger on, does it move? Does it bollocks? It breaks in half. And I'm talking about just literally every little decal, all your warning decals, that side, underneath, on top. It's like, is any more of these decals going to break? Mark, stop being a pussy, mate. What you should have done is ordered an aftermarket decal pack. No, I don't go that way. If you've watched my videos before, it's in the box, guys. You know, if I wanted to start and enhance stuff and start to say, I would have to sort of acknowledge to myself, look, I've spent 25 quid on a kit, but now I'm going to have to spend 10 quid on paint, 35, 3 quid on a metal pitter, 8, 9 quid on decals. That suddenly your 25 quid kit that you're really expecting to be half decent has cost you £60. No, not for this boy, no. Okay, so decals were an absolute nightmare, and the worst one of all, I don't need to tell you, do I? The tail. Jesus Christ. It did break. It broke at its thinnest point. Okay. You know, I've got my Tornado in a jig on its side, and I've got my 3-inch emulsion brush, and I've literally bathed it with setting solution, getting ready to apply the decal. And you put that on so that you can move it around, and one thing or another, you're cotton budding it off and you're making sure. But there are so many different shapes on this tail that it really, really struggles. The decal is actually too big for the tail. But again, you know, you don't want to trim it before you apply it. You want to get it on just to make sure, because once you've put your setting solution on and it starts to shrink and you think, fingers crossed, I think I've still got mine crossed. It just don't work, right? They're too big and they're too thick. So again, no matter how much solution you put on, and you're looking at that sort of back end and those little struts that go up the tail, it's not, you're thinking, I want you to conform over the shape. No, it's like that. No, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to sit here. I'll bathe you some more then. Well, bathe me all you want, mate. I'm not going anywhere. Right, okay. I'll gently roll you with a cotton bud then, and I'll try and sort of persuade you to go on. It's like, jog on. I'm not moving. I'm as thick as a canteen loaf, right? I'm not going to conform. And I did try different setting solutions, and not one of them would work. In the end, you have to roll it over the form shapes. Luckily, I had mixed a pot of X2 white with some royal blue, literally just one drop at a time, to get the sort of correct blue. You can't tell, but some of those little diamonds on there, they're actually airbrushed on. Okay, because where the decal rips, you can't just leave it like that. It looks like a pile of shit. All right. At the end of the day, it looks like a Tornado. It's going to go on a diorama. I haven't attached the bottom part. I've actually just, because the holes are there. All right. I'll put that on back on, otherwise it's going to sit on its armament, and I don't want that. Would I build it again? What do you think? Would you build it again after all that I just told you? Probably not. No, I don't think you would you? Especially for the price that it is. Sit that back on there. Can I correct the kit? Yeah, decals, mate. Jesus Christ, get a grip. You know, give me a good decal pack that's not going to cost me an extra 10 quid, and I'd be happy with that. Plus, make the decals from different squadrons, or at least put the armament into the kit that marries up with where it should be. Does that make sense? Yeah. See to that nose, because that nose was a nightmare. I'm not saying it took like 20 minutes to sand it out, right? I'll do it the other way. It took me 3 sanding sticks to rub it down. Jesus Christ. There's loads and loads of things that you can correct about the kit, and we can all bitch about, you know, that was toss, that was a nightmare, da-di-da. But I can only go off what I've done. All right. A good couple of points on it. Like I said, the recessed wing gloves where the wing sweeps in, they were absolutely superb. Okay. And what else have I got? Tons of armament, but most of it's absolutely useless. And the air intakes, the air intakes were a good fit. With the doors open, they were a good fit. Okay. Scoring the kit out of 10. I want to do it. I don't want to put anybody off. I've already put you off on that. If you've got it in your stash and you're going straight to the bottom of the pile, listen, have a go at it. I would probably score it 4.5 out of 10. Right? Okay. For a 1 in 48 kit. At the end of the day, looks like a Tornado, smells like a Tornado. It's that middle bit, isn't it? It's the getting it together bit that you've got to enjoy. That with good fitting parts and all that sort of stuff. The only saving grace on this kit was there was no ejector pin marks, EPM. There were no ejector pin marks on Revel kit. It's rife, absolutely rife with ejector pins. It's like, for the love of God, this one, not one, not one. Can you believe that? If there'd have been ejector pin marks on this, I'd have just turned it into a big bucket of sprue gold. I'd have melted it down. You know what I mean? It'd have been, that'd have just pushed me over the end. And no flash, and no ejector pin marks. It's like, we're going to throw these 2 nightmare bits at you, you know, the decals and the general fit. Their toss, but just to save your mentality, will not put you any ejector pin marks or flash on. I'm like, that'll do. I'm now doing a Revel level 5 Tornado GR4 in 41 Squadron for Mr. Bridge. And the reason that I'm doing that one next, even though under my table here I've got the Italieri 32 GR4, which I was just like screaming to get one to last year. Why don't you start that? Not yet. Just calm yourself down. It's Bridge's birthday in January. So I'm going to try and get this, you know, done for him. He wants a Mr. Andrews model in his collection. And I've still got the T34, the big 1 in 16, and I've still got the 1 in 48 Lancaster, and I've got 2 Revel F15 Eagles. And Dave Jackson, hope you well, mate. He's still got me tank. All right, but next up, Bridges Revel Tornado. That'll do. Stay safe, everybody. I'm just conscious of time. Stay safe, everybody. I say it at the end of every video, don't I? We're nearly through it. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. All right. But look after yourself, okay? And hope you've had a great Christmas. Wishing everybody a fantastic New Year. I hope that you've all got what you wanted and that you're all ready to put your heart and soul into building in New Year. Okay? Stay safe. Take care. See you soon.